Hey guys, this is Greg, Danny, and Joe from Ritual Gaming, and we are bringing you episode 17, Spies Like Us. Let's jump right into it. We're talking about Geonosian Spy. He's the newest character that's been released. Danny, fill us in on his abilities.
Alright, so his basic at Omega level is deal physical damage to target enemy. If this attack does not score a critical hit, 80% chance to gain critical chance up for 2 turns. If this attack scores a critical hit, gain stealth for 3 turns. So basically, no matter what you do, you're gaining a buff for 2 or 3 turns. It's average. It's an average basic. Okay.
Man, they're really all about crit up recently, it feels.
Yeah.
But
I think that's quite like Geonosian synergy as well. There's a lot of crit stuff going on there.
Geonosian Soldier is the same thing. Like if he crits, he gets the chance to refill his turn meter and stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think here the one thing is it looks like a pretty weak primary basic attack. You know, with damage of about 2,800-ish to 3,100-ish. So you're kind of sacrificing brute force for these buffs. I guess if you can use the buffs to your advantage, then this could be a really cool thing. See how it synergizes with the other Geonosians, I guess.
Yeah, and again, I think they could just be setting this up for more of these Geonosians to come out and have some more synergy with this. Possibly.
Do any other guys stealth, or is this like a uniquely?
Yeah, no, they don't.
None of them guys stealth. Sunfact doesn't stealth. GS doesn't stealth. Pog doesn't stealth.
Well, from what I remember, though, when you're in the levels, is this the guy that stealths, and then when he's in stealth and hits you out, and like when he's in stealth, it just does insane damage?
It does a lot of damage, and I think his Silent Strike...
Yeah, let's go on to that. Joe, what's that? So that's his next ability.
Deals physical damage to a target enemy, and if Geonosian Spy isn't stealth, inflict evasion down for 2 turns. If he is stealth, dispel all positive and negative status effects on both the spy and the target, and deal 30 more damage for each effect dispelled in this way. This attack cannot be evaded. So this, I guess, is where he gets... This is where he gets really cool. If you get him stealth, I guess his primary is just a way to get him stealth, so that you can hit like you get those teams with like Phasma and Saint Han, where he's got like buff and offense up and advantage or something. If you hit Han with that up, you'll not only remove the taunt, but you'll do 90% more damage.
Yeah, this is great. And the fact that it can't be evaded too, I mean, we said in previous episodes that if they're going to go this route and they're going to use characters to fix evasion, then they got to do it, right? They got to go down this path. And they seem to have done it, right? What, the last 3 characters or 2 characters that have come out?
Yeah, it cannot be evaded, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not quite sure, but did Anakin's rework have something to do with evasion also?
I can't remember off the top of my head, but I feel like there's something. Oh, yeah, his new leader skill.
Well, there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
And what I like about this ability, too, and we talked about this again in a previous episode, was that it has a lot of integral parts. You know, if we're going to keep this turn-based PvP system, have abilities that work like this, where if in this state, this happens. If not in this state, this happens. Makes things more fun.
And this whole, like, Geonosian synergy, because if you watch previous episodes, we're all about this kind of tribal synergy and stuff.
Yeah.
But anyways, Sunfact, the previous Geonosian that was released, he also did the removing stealth or remove, positive status effects. Yeah, so just another guy that kind of like works well with that. It's cool. It would be cool to see a team that's all kind of these little bug dudes.
Just removing all positive things.
Yeah.
And just to go back to Anakin, I'm just checking it up. It's whenever an ally is evaded, they gain advantage for 2 turns.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so there you go.
You get advantage when you get dodged.
Yeah, I like that ability. I think it's really cool. Let's look at his unique now, too. And I like that this guy doesn't have a leader skill. I like that there's still, like, every character doesn't have to have a leader skill, right?
Yeah, totally.
So his unique is Illicit Insect, which is a cool name. Whenever a
To say it
Geonosian
incorrectly as well, isn't it? Greg?
yeah, whenever a Geonosian ally inflicts a negative status effect.
Inflicts. Yeah.
Inflicts? Yeah. Look, reading is tough.
All right.
Okay?
You to say, bud.
I just do the mobile games, not the reading. Okay.
At the real world.
Not the words. Geonosian Spy gains 70% turn meter. So whenever a Geonosian ally inflicts a negative status effect, Geonosian Spy gains 70% turn meter. Okay, now let's think Geonosian allies that can inflict negative.
It's all of them except for GS. I mean,
Yeah,
there's only
GS
two others.
can't really know.
Poggle does ability block and some
Oh,
factor.
yeah.
I forgot
all the
he's
time.
Geonosian.
Yeah, that's great.
And some factor, something I've forgotten right now. But
Okay.
he definitely does debuffs. I just can't, off the top of my head, remember what it is.
I
All
fight-
these,
I fight one
these-
every day in my top 3, and I can't remember.
he has a
what that's
variety of negative status effects.
Mm.
He
this-
removes them all. He does offense down. He also does critical chance down as well.
Okay.
Mm.
So as a team, Geonosians, they're doling out debuffs.
Yeah.
Pretty much and GS is just there for sheer power.
God, this team too, it'll really shake up the meta too, because right now everyone's just hiding behind Royal Guard, Saint Han, you know, and when these guys come out, you're gonna have 2 guys that can remove
Taunt.
taunt. which
And
is
then one
insane.
guy that can taunt as well.
Yeah. And 2, I mean, as soon as I think about this, you got the 4 Geonosians, and then you're definitely gonna throw in Royal Guard there. Like, he's just a perfect fit until they
I'm not
fill out more of this tribal stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure though. Purely on the account of none of the Geonosians except for GS do much damage.
Yeah, that's
you
exactly
might-
what I was thinking. Yeah.
You might need to.
Well,
you
yeah,
might
Poggle.
use that. Poggle doesn't do much damage.
Not that
His-
much.
He
his
does the offense
offense
up. It's offense up for everyone. It might be enough to take out like real threats like Rays and Layers. We'll see. The problem with the Geonosian team is it's going to be slow as anything.
Yeah, it just seems very mid-rangey to me.
That's a good point.
It's not like tons of
gonna be-
damage. But they do have the tankiness. A lot of them have tankiness, besides GS, of course.
Yeah, I think the silly thing is Poggle gives droids speed up, but not Geonosians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poggle himself is actually very speedy. He's pretty fast. He's not crazy fast, but he's up there. He's
That's true. They need to kind of just add that on to that.
But then you'd have an invincible team, I guess.
I don't know about that. I just don't think it's amazing. I think it's really good, but I don't think it's amazing.
Well, what do you guys think then that we could add to this to make it more viable? Because Geonosian Soldier, he's putting in work. He's doing damage, right?
He's doing-
Not the best damage anymore, but he does a good amount.
Sunfac and Geonosian are controlling things, I guess, but that's also kind of what Poggle does. It could be interesting to see how this works once you get Poggle's offense up and all of that going, and you really get off to a good start. I just feel like this is again one of those teams that just a crazy Ray hit could just dismantle in a shot.
Does Sunfac have any leader ability?
He does not. No.
Yeah, so this is Poggle's the only one that has
He's the only one that, if you're going to build a pure Geonosian team, you're stuck behind Poggle,
yeah.
who does have pretty good speed. It's okay.
But his leader ability is like okay. It's not, it doesn't
Yeah.
really belong in the meta right now.
It's
Yeah.
just a blanket offense up for Droid and Geonosians. I think what would really change it is if they just tweak Poggle to mean that he gave speed up to Droids and Geonosians as opposed to just Droids.
I feel like they're not going to do that.
No,
It
not.
seems like if they're going to rework any abilities, they're going to do a full rework, right? Like they just did with Anakin. So maybe we're
Poggle
looking
doesn't
at
really need it. Poggle's
Yeah.
fine.
maybe we should look a little bit further down the road when they add a 5th Geonosian. Maybe that guy's going to tie them all together. Maybe we're looking at it and they'll still do enough damage too with Poggle lead, right?
Yeah.
They could.
With that
Let's-
damage up from Geonosian Spy's special ability as well.
Yeah, that guy, he could wreck with that. If they were going to do that, would you guys not put Royal Guard with them? Who would you put with them?
Maybe a Phasma or something that could give them a little bit. Phasma just works with anything, right? When do you not want everyone to have advantage and turn meter, and slow down the other team? Off the top of my head, who would also work? You could put IG-88 or you could put a droid with them as well that would synergize with Poggle.
It might be interesting to put a healer as well, because these guys don't really have any heal. Yeah.
Maybe a DACA?
Maybe a DACA,
yeah. Work around the Ray one-shot that way. So
and add a bit of stun.
It'd be cool if they added another Geonosian eventually, and because they're adding all these guys that are like dealing with dodge and evasion and stuff. Be cool if they added one where the leader skill was the opposite of like a Dooku or an old Ben, where the opposing team's dodge rate goes down or something like that.
Oh.
That could be interesting.
Yeah.
Even a character that can turn debuffs into healing like Akbar or Rex can make this team really good as well.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Okay.
As opposed to a dedicated healer like a Lumi or a Barris, you could just have I feel like that's the way the things have gone at the moment. No one really runs healers. If you're lucky enough to have a Rex or you run full Rebels with Akbar, you get your healing that way. Otherwise, you just don't heal.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment,
kill them before they kill you. Yeah.
When you see a Lumi, you're like, yeah, I want to fight that team right away.
Yeah.
Those guys are going down.
Going down. Easy win. But I think Geonosian Spy looks really cool. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I think he gets a seal of approval. I like that character coming out. Let's talk about Dengar in guild shipments now. Now, when we were first talking about this just separately outside the show, I was really excited because I'm trying to throw together a Scoundrels team. I know they're not going to be good. I know everyone's telling me not, but I really want to. I think Scoundrels are cool. And also, I'll make some money in that event.
Yeah, exactly. At the very least, you're going to get $1 million every 6 to 15 days randomly.
Yeah. And it's helping me solve my own personal credit crunch,
Yeah.
But when you, Danny, you told me, you were like, oh, I think Dengar is actually going into the shard shop.
Yeah, I read
what?
that wrong. Yeah.
That would have been.
Man, I was so bummed out. But, all right, Dengar went into guild shipments. So, Joe, what do you think about this? You stoked?
I'm stoked that we can get him. I'm not so stoked about guild shipments just because they're really slow.
They're filling up.
Yeah, and if the more you fill it up, the less likely you are to actually get the character you want. I know it took me a good while longer than you two to finish off Jawa Engineer, and it was purely down to RNG. You guys are like, we all bought one every time we saw it.
Yeah. Except
I was on 70 while you guys were done, and it's like that. Not that that's really a huge problem. It was another week and it was done, but it's just like, I don't know. Cantina was already a really slow way of farming characters, and guild shipments is just an even slower way of farming characters than Cantina is.
Yeah.
Whereas Galactic War, you farm them so quick, there's none left to really get anymore if you've been playing the game for more than 6 months.
Guild shipments to me is like your local watering hole kind of dive bar, where just, you check it out every day, maybe, if you're going down that path. And then you pop in, and sometimes there's like one cool guy in there. And then you're like, oh, great, this is amazing, I love this place. But most of the time, it's just crap, and you just walk right out the door.
Yeah, and it stinks like someone just peed in it.
But for me, because I got everything I wanted from guild shipment so far, but as soon as Dengar came out, this is the only shipment, whatever container thing, that I've refreshed. And since Dengar came out, I've refreshed twice every day.
Holy smokes.
Wow. You wanted that, huh?
I spent 100 crystals on it.
Never even thought of doing that, actually. I might start doing that.
Every day.
Is it working out?
So stoked. Oh, yeah. I get him like twice a day or something. And then, so he's already at like 4 or 5 stars or something, and I brought him up to like level 77 or something. Yeah, I'm stoked on Dengar.
Oh my god, man! I never even thought of doing that. I should definitely do that. I'm gonna start doing that.
I've got a very different saving plan, but that's a story for another day.
I was trying to I was saving for furnaces, like the 8,235 guild credits or whatever to buy 15 furnaces, just to slowly try and solve because as most people know, we run a lot of droids, and god, droids need so many furnaces, so I was just waiting.
It seems like a ridiculous deal. Like, it's not even a full furnace for waiting forever for these things. It's it's a ridiculous thing.
It's And the way, that's what I'm saying about you're spending 100 crystals a day on this. I've just lowered my my expenditure on refreshes in general in favor of buying things for crystals out of the other shipment. The
Have you bought an item for crystals?
I've bought 2 droid callers and 2 Nubian scanners.
Wow.
I need those Nubian scanners. Yeah.
And I don't need any of those. I need furnaces, but they're out of rotation. But I for me,
they're not coming back.
Oh, they will in like 4 to 6 weeks.
Oh.
So I'm saving up my crystals for that, and so lowering my refresh rate and coming top 5. You can afford to buy one every kind of 2 weeks, and I'm just doing it that way because it's become rapidly apparently to me that raiding alone is just not going to be enough to get all the characters you want geared. And I'm the same as you, Greg. It's furnaces. I've got 3 full scanners and a spare droid caller at the moment. I've had 2 furnaces since they were released. 2.
That's rough.
That's not even enough to get 1 character to max.
The RNG that comes down to it too with the raid gear, if you're not hitting the high top 10 of whatever you're raiding, right, in tier 7, it's pretty brutal.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, okay.
Getting off topic.
That was an off-topic thing. So let's talk about the Ewok event.
Hey.
Danny, what did you think of the Ewok event?
Oh my God. Okay, well, so I couldn't do the Empire event. I think we've talked about this in a previous episode. And so I just didn't know the rewards that were doled out. But then as soon as I did this Ewok event, I did the lower tier first, obviously, tier 1, and I was like, whoa, 1,000,000 credits and 5,000 ally points and all this stuff. Tons of shards. I was like, this is amazing. And then tier 2, same thing. Oh, it was great. I loved it. And I think... we'll talk about this later. I'm not going to get into this now, but yeah, it was a cool event, and it was appropriately difficult, but not impossible. I even had a 5-star Vader I had to throw in because it didn't have another droid or Empire guy. Right?
You didn't level Magna Guard?
Magna Guard? No, I'm working on him now.
Ah,
yeah.
It's a work.
Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, I loved it. I've seen a bit of complaining going around. I've been following what people are saying. They're saying it's very hard, that the Ewoks hit too hard, but I think that's just people who don't have the stuff to get into it, or to at least really compete. I think what's really impressed me with it is the mechanics that it gets you to think about. For those who haven't attempted it or can't get in, or can only finding they can't get past the first couple of levels or whatever. You see a lot of very low HP Ewoks who hit like an absolute freight train.
Yeah.
And so you then they dump really high HP Ewok elders in there that don't hit at all, but are there for the obvious reason of just reviving these Ewoks again and again. And so you're really having to keep an eye. Oh, in T1 I can pretty much auto run it, but T2 I definitely cannot. In the second tier, I found that having a lot of AoE was really helpful. Having a lot of turn meter manipulation was really helpful. That's why Magna Guard was great. Just reset everyone's turn meter on his AoE. Obviously, getting those big IG-88 sweeps was awesome for just wiping out the little Ewok scouts.
And ability blocking Ewok elders as well.
So yeah, it got you to exercise a lot of mechanics, which I thought was probably the best thing about it. Obviously, the rewards, as Danny said, were great. And once you get your first burst of 1,000,000 credits and all those Ewok Elder Shards, it's like 50k credits, and you get 6 runs a day. So that's 300k a day for 6 days.
Yeah, I really like too that they gave an achievement for it. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, they did that for the Empire event.
I couldn't do that one. So.
I could do that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, like you were saying, Joe, is people were getting frustrated that it was so hard.
Good.
And, yeah, sure. But Empire event was so hard for me, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I just got to save up and get those proper tunes, and they got to do the same thing, vice versa, right? So
Yeah. No, I'm building a Rebel team with... one of the reasons I started building Rebel Team was because I want to build a Rebel Team, and the second reason was, well, next time that event comes around, I can do it. It's like double. It's a win-win, really. So yeah, go out and get your Empire guys up. Go out and get your droids up, because this event is worth completing. It's hard, but it's fun hard.
It is fun, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking into our text chat right now. One guy's just posting screenshots of him versus Chief Chirper. on the last stage with just one character up on both sides, and he's like, "I'm so close," and like. It's been a while since there's been an event in the game where you get to that, like, I mean, the last one I can think of really was Yoda before he got nerfed, where you're like, I'm so close, and I failed. I got to try this like 35 times till I can beat it. And like, I don't know, that's my idea of fun. I know it's not everyone's idea of fun, but like, actual challenges make me happy.
I think too, if they want the events to be challenging and they're going to continue to release them in this manner, then they have to make them challenging in some way, right? Like you can't just make every event a giveaway like we were talking about last time, and you can't make every event, unless they're going to change the way they do the events. Right now it's kind of like, do you have the guys? If you don't have the guys fully maxed, then you have to figure out like the mechanic to get around it. I think that's a good way to do it.
Yeah,
and also, sorry, but
okay.
Also, if you had like, say, Magna Guard, and for some odd reason you had General Grievous above the other 3 droids, right? And you had some other stuff. You couldn't do it because you need, like Joe was saying, like there's a way to work around it, and you need these special abilities to get in there, and that's what makes it really interesting, rather than just throwing mishmash level 80 7-star dudes.
You can't just brute force it. Yeah, you can't brute force this one.
Exactly. Yeah.
You need to. I was chatting to El Guapo. What's up, El Guapo? Greetings from Narnia. He was saying he was running it with an IG-88 lead for the dot fiesta, as we've been calling it, spraying dots all over the place. But, it doesn't work in this mode. He switched to an HK-47 lead and he beat it, and like, that's cool. Like, you changed approach and you won. Like, that's what a tactical strategy game should be.
Exactly.
Yeah. Did you guys both use HK-47 leads?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
It was the best thing because those guys kept critting and kept going again, and it was great.
Yeah, and every screen had at least 5 characters on it. So you throw that grenade even without Jawa Engineer's 2 times crit chance, you're going to get 2 crits and refill your turn meter.
I like the idea too of the smaller health guys just hitting like trucks.
It's
like,
really cool.
The Ewoks, one of the Ewok scouts, I was kind of auto playing it just to test it out at first. Then one of the Ewok scouts like just one-shotted my IG-88. I was like,
yeah.
Oh. Okay,
Yeah.
that was odd.
That happened to me. I managed to crawl through to the very end, but I was like, wow, a little guy. Because usually you equate small health bars with just being garbage, right?
Yeah.
Here it's like you need to manage those AoEs, make sure those Ewoks are always down, then focus damage on Ewok Elder, and then he's going to bring it back. You got to get back to killing the little guys, then focus damage, or better still, just skill block Ewok Elder or stun him. And that was like.
It was funny when you told us about this event, Joe, and you were like, oh, this is Droids and Empire. And I was like, cool, I got the Droids. But who the hell is Empire? I don't have any Empire. Oh, this is going to be awful. And then today I remembered, oh, Royal Guards Empire. This is great. This will save the day. Yeah.
And I was just thinking another great character for this event would be Magma Trooper.
Yeah.
He has a great AoE, and he has the primary attack, which has a chance to randomly attack another character. If you're trying to thin out those little scouts, he could be a great character. He's Empire. He's easy to farm. If you really just want to beat this event.
You're just like focused on beating the events. One thing that I was thinking about with this, and we kind of, as we mentioned before, oh man, got to stop saying that. But a friend of ours in a group chat that we have about the game, he's always kind of like, he's a real free-to-play player, Oliver, and he wants to try and participate. Hey man, wants to try and participate in all the different events. He's like, oh, maybe I'll farm this guy now so I can go and do this and stuff like that. But I think events like this definitely kind of lead the new and free-to-play players in the wrong direction. It says like, oh, you can come and try and do this event or whatever. But a lot of the time, I can't really say what the minimum requirement would be to beat Tier 1, but
it says on there. That's the good thing about these things is it says like
Tier 2 says is
not requirement, but it says like recommended for level 75 and above, 7 stars or something like that. You know what I mean? So if you're not at that point with the majority of the characters that need to be in that dungeon, that event, then don't bother trying to farm somebody else. And I think that's just common knowledge. It's not leading you in the wrong direction. You're not at level 80, or you don't need to try for it. You know what I mean?
But of course, like Okay, what I'm trying to say is, yeah, even though, and I just read the thing for the tier 1, it says 78 plus. This is difficult, right?
Yeah.
So you'll need like at least 5-star characters or something like that. But what I'm saying is, I think the events at times can be like alluring for the free-to-play and new players, and thinking like, okay, I want to try and stretch out my roster faster than really. It seems like the one way to get to the top and to really get resources that you can use to finally stretch out your roster is to only focus on one team at first. It's a temptation.
No, definitely. I agree with you entirely. Like, it is a very bad idea to go out and just make a team so you can beat an event. But when you are at the top and you've got your arena team up and running, then it is, and that's what these events are made for. I mean, tier 1 is tuned for 78 plus, and tier 2 is tuned for level 80. So I mean, this is not for people who are new. They're not, they're got to have got to level 78 first. Now, of course, if that makes them like build towards this event, sure, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
But I think, arena is there every single day, and that's alluring you to build an arena team.
Yeah, that's true. But
and that's what I'm saying is, by the time you reach level 80, you're not going to be like, which team should I farm? I don't know. And, by that point, if you've been playing that long, I think you know what team
and you're still like,
farm.
I've got half a Rebel team, half an Empire team, half a
it's
team.
not working out for you.
You're
Try
probably
a different game.
Yeah.
Try a different game, bud.
Well, I think this kind of goes hand in hand with what they've been talking about recently with Galactic War, where they were saying, we want you to have a wider roster or whatever. Like, this just ties in with it too. But God, it's quite a demand, really. Like, if you wanted to do everything, it would take forever. I think just the method that you have to approach it with is, I'm not going to be able to do every event, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
you have that was me for the Rebel event. I looked at it, I went, nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, sorry. Before we move on, that's the fun thing though, is because now I have all the tunes I want. I can start farming these ridiculous tunes I would never even think of, farming before, just to actually play these events and have fun.
Yeah. I see what Greg's saying is totally true though.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm
No,
just
I know.
saying it could lead players in the wrong direction.
Our friends have definitely done. Like, our friends who don't play quite as hardcore have done exactly that. These events, they'll be building up a good arena team, and then an event will come along and be like, "Oh, go get yourself some clones," and they're like, "Ooh," and then they start farming clones, and it's like, get that
fully
arena.
not worth it. Yeah.
I have
Just
my
PSA, get your arena team done.
clone.
Yeah.
All right,
arena team done.
let's go on from this. Scoundrel event. We're obviously talking about events. Joe, what did you think of the Scoundrel event?
Well, again,
did
this
you
is
participate in it?
No, I did not. I did not have 5 Scoundrels at the time, and this is another one that I'm building towards now. We've been talking about Scoundrels, and we want to build Scoundrel teams. This has only really incentivized it more. They obviously want people to start thinking about Scoundrels now. They've been releasing them left and right. They have now brought out this event, which you can only use. You want your $1 million every week to fortnight-ish. For those who haven't seen, it's random weekday every 6 to 15 days. So you could get one every week, you could get one every 2 weeks, you could get 2 back-to-back on 2 different days, theoretically, by their description. And there's a level 50 and a level 70 version, requires 5 Scoundrels. And so essentially you can get about 1 million credits when it comes around.
Yeah.
If you complete it all, right?
If you complete every single tier and everything of it.
Which is hard.
Which is hard, yeah. So there's a level 50 and a level 70. They can be completed twice. 50 gives 150k times 2 is 300, and then 70 gives 350k times 2 is 700, so million total.
Did anyone in the guild beat this, or anyone we know?
I know Dan, KF Dan, he beat it.
But he's got every friggin' tune in.
No, he did beat it. He had a level 70 lead. He had a 7-star lead. But he had a lot of 4 stars in his team.
Wow.
So it is
well geared?
Two farmable gear levels, 2 purple levels, but not maybe at the highest of the high. But it's doable. And I think, even just getting up to the level 50 one, because it is at level 70. So even if you're not fully geared, but your character's a level 80, you can probably brute force it.
That's true.
So yeah, I was looking at Scoundrels anyway, and now I can have a Scoundrel team and $1 million every couple of weeks.
And it's
So
a fun place to practice your Scoundrel teams.
synergies and stuff, like mix and
So it
match.
works.
I've definitely got my Cad Bane up to max, and I'm hoping his evasion and turn meter can drag through a few 4-star characters and just see how it goes. So.
Yeah, I definitely like that they're putting out some
You beat
cash
the
there.
first tier, right, Greg?
Yeah, I did, because obviously I'm working towards Scoundrels right now, so I had Cad Bane and Greedo at 7 stars and like Gear 9 or something like that. Then I have Boba Fett at 4 stars. And
Oh yeah, you got
Blue
Boba
Gear.
Fett in a Bronzium.
Yeah, oh yeah, that was
Stupid
pretty
jerk.
good. Yeah, but actually he's almost maxed now. I almost have Boba, Cad Bane, and Greedo maxed, and I can't remember the other Scoundrel that I'm farming. It's not important. But I think what's cool about this one, and we were complaining before that they didn't give enough warning for events to allow people to prepare, right? But this one, all it is credits, and it's kind of goes with the Scoundrel theme. You know, they pop out of nowhere. They're kind of shady. I like it. I like that you can't plan for this one.
I'm going to go ahead and say that Danny, maybe 10 episodes ago in our Wish Upon a Star, was wishing that there was just a Scoundrel bounty hunter event that gave money.
Yes, I did say that.
I think you did say that, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, called it 3 months ago.
Okay, so those events, positive. We're trying to stay positive. Staying positive here. All right, let's look at Anakin's rework. Danny, do you think Anakin's rework really had a positive benefit to him?
Well, I know. I'll pass this on to Joe right away because I know Joe really thinks that this is the case. And I've seen it, yes. I've seen that he's maybe not the most major player right now, but he's definitely among the stars. You know, he's I've seen him in the top 10 in Arena and stuff, and when I come across him in Galactic War, I get real pissed off. He's there, and he's showing his colors. It was a good rework for sure. I think Joe knows a bit more about him. He's been more excited about him. So.
All right, Joe, you were farming him, right?
I still am, yeah. Yeah, he's gone from being this, like, we included him in our top 10 list of characters that are so nearly there, and then they reworked him, and now he's just in the list of characters that are there.
Can I just interrupt and say, I think the devs are listening to us. They're watching us and just reworking.
You're watching us and just taking
Royal
ideas.
Guard, they did a Scoundrel event, they did Anakin's rework. They're just like, yes, these guys have it figured out.
I would like that to be true. No, I don't know a great deal about him. I haven't used him much, but I've definitely been following guys in our guild who have been using him. I've been borrowing Gear 11 ones off of people to run, events, daily stuff with. And yeah, there's some interesting builds. I think he allows for a couple of new builds that could even be arena worthy. I've been playing in Galactic War against Anakin-led and Imagundi-led tanky Jedi counter teams. Which could be really interesting. You kind of need Ayla to make those tick at the highest level. But, I mean, there's teams you can build with Anakin that just mean you cannot use an AoE. Like, if you use an AoE, you just get a swarm of people come back at you.
Yeah.
Like, people with Ayla 5s.
Your camera went off, Danny.
Yeah, I see that. I don't know why
Both
that
cameras
happened.
went off.
Both cameras went off. We're still live sound-wise, right?
Yeah,
I'm
okay,
coming
they're
back
coming
on.
back on.
No,
Should be
coming
fine.
back on. Little hiccup. As I was saying, yeah, with Imagundi, Ayla, Anakin. I don't know. We could strategize. We could speculate
There we go.
builds as much as we want, but I just think he is not an S tier character, but an A tier character now, who allows for some really interesting builds, which might even make waves in the arena sometime soon.
Yeah, definitely his rework made him so much better. And nothing to complain about anymore, you know what I mean? Yeah. Are we both back, Greg?
Yeah, you are, but do me a favor and put your hand in front of your camera and let the light readjust. I think it's quite dark for some reason. Huh, that didn't work at all. Okay, I think we'll pause here. Hey guys, unfortunately there we had to have a little edit due to Skype messing us around. So we'll get back to this. We're talking about Anakin's rework, and Joe? Take it away.
Yeah, I mean, I think we pretty much got as much in as needed to before we hit that little technical hiccup there. Just that he's definitely been taken up a notch. He's a contender, and I'm interested to see what kind of builds pop up. I think maybe there's a couple more characters need to come out before he can be utilized to his maximum. So I would speculate at this time for a little bit of a told you so in the future, but the next character we see released will probably be a Jedi.
That would be cool.
Yeah. There's so many Jedis, though. I mean,
there are a lot.
They really need to focus on other things, but it still would be cool. I would still like that. Yeah.
So in that tanky Jedi team, though, that you're talking about, Joe, did they run Barriss?
I did try one with the Barriss, yeah.
Because that would be cool.
Bring the healers.
Bring Barriss back a little bit.
I'll bring them up. The two that I've faced that have been pretty good, if you bear with me.
I think that Barriss, I'm not sure what she's like on defense, like in an arena team or something, but she must be really good. Because the AI must just be real stupid and go for her for no reason, and it's just kind of a target.
Yeah, but that would be on attack, right? That you're facing AI. You're talking about if she was good on defense?
Yeah, sorry, on attack.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
So the two teams I did face that were really tough to beat were Anakin lead, Qui-Gon, Fives, Ayla, Sunfac, which is 3 counters and tanky characters. Fives, Ayla, and Sunfac all counter. So it was one of these things where you dropped an AoE, and of course Jedi gives more offense to Jedis and clones, and gives them advantage when they dodge.
Wow.
When they are dodged. So basically this team I dropped an AoE and 3 guys came running right back at me and hit me hard. Well, it was actually
I think that
4.
looks so funny when that happens.
Fives hit it, yeah, when they all just swarm in.
Yeah,
Fives actually hit me twice. And then the other version was quite similar. It was Anakin, Fives, RG, Ayla, Qui-Gon.
Who's that Jedi that his leader skill is everyone has a chance to counter?
Is it Gundy? Yeah,
that's Gundy.
Is it Gundy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I faced one of those in Galactic War, and everybody just killed that one guy. And I was just like, oh, okay, we'll restart that.
All right, well, let's use this as a segue to talk about Galactic War. Now, Galactic War has been getting a lot of talk recently. They tweaked it once, right, and then they stealth tweaked it a second time, which really pissed a lot of people off. So now they're talking about giving it another tweak. So the tweak they're proposing now is they want to provide a real challenge to players. In other words, it's meant to be hard. Okay, but does it have to be as hard as in its current place, which is, July 4th?
I like it.
Provide a place in the game where your entire collection can be brought to bear. Potentially every character can help you succeed. Provide a war of attrition where health is persisted as you progress in battles. Provide a place where there's an ever-evolving set of challenges in terms of which characters, parties, builds can be most effective. As more characters are released and as more types of builds are discovered and developed by the players, this will become increasingly true. Okay, this seems like it's like a fairy tale of how it could actually play out. What it is right now is a brutal, brutal beatdown from just random nodes of insane teams.
Love it.
But I think that this, like exactly what you just said, is kind of what they wanted in the first place, and kind of what they've always said it was. So, how is it going to change? Like, this is exactly what Galactic War should be, and what they know it should be. So, what are they fixing to change? It doesn't seem like anything different is saying.
But right now, you can hit tier or node 4, and then just have the most crazy, like, Fives, Rex.
Oh yeah, no, I've had like hypermaxed arena #1 teams at like node 4. It's been stupid.
It's good. I think the opposite. Like they've done what they said they would do, which is ramp up to 6, then start easy and ramp up to 6 again. So node 5 and 6 tend to be very hard. If you're getting hard teams on 4, that's just a bit of a bummer. But 6 and 12 are super hard, and I like it. I think it's really made Galactic War a puzzle again, and not just a chore. Now it's a bit too long still. I would say it's still a bit of a chore. I mean,
I agree with you, but the new tweak they're saying is coming. is
You're gonna do more of that.
it's supposed to be different, and I'm wondering how it's going to be different from what you're currently saying right now. It doesn't make sense to me. What are they trying to do? I don't know. I guess we'll see.
I think it's an incredibly hard balance between, okay, if you're going to make it this long, then it can't be as hard because then, I mean, that'll be, okay, I guess I'm going at the approach that you want to be able to finish it. So if they don't want people to finish it, that's fine, right? If you have to have a huge roster to finish it, that's fine. But man, that takes a long time then, right? So then if you shorten it, then it would be hard to make it this war of attrition, right? Unless it was just all really hard, but then it wouldn't be short because then you'd have to go in and out all the time.
Yeah, it kind of feels like they're constantly saying they want to make Galactic War like everything the game has to offer all wrapped up into one game mode. And I just don't think that's possible. They're like, we want it to be a war of attrition and use your whole box and provide like, you know, interesting puzzle and give you a challenge to approach in a different way every day. And really, it's like you need 3 game modes for that. Like,
and especially if they're facing you against actual players with actual rosters and their actual characters, it's impossible to really find that balance of like, you need to set up this team in order to beat this team because it's all random. Like,
you don't have it hypermaxed either because, I like that idea, and sorry to cut you off, Denny. I like that idea of, and what they're saying of, you know, trying to set a team to approach the team that you have in Galactic War. But if you're going against a hypermax team and you don't have the answers to that, then you just don't have the answers to that. It's not like you can pull out your 4-star guy that like happens to have a leader ability that counters their team or something like that. It just doesn't work like that in stats after a while.
And then I guess tough luck for that day. Come back tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true. That's the approach that you can go. Right now, I was looking at the approach that they want people to finish it, right? Because most of the stuff that they have is, I guess, accomplishable in some ways if you can do it.
Well, and that was the only thing that was kind of focusing on the credit crunch too, right? Besides these new events that have come out. Yeah. That was the only place you could actually get money, really. So,
But I think there are more sources of income now that they can move away from. The problem with that they had to make Galactic War accessible was exactly like what Danny just said. It was the primary source of income, and that's no longer the case.
Maybe that's exactly what they're trying to do with all these events and things.
And they're saying as more characters are released and more builds are discovered. I mean, we're only going to be playing against guys who are level 80 most of the time. And those guys are going to be, you know, the average level 80 player, their roster's only getting bigger. Because I would say, you know, as
although when they go to level 90, it's I guess for me it's a bit too much of chasing the carrot kind of thing. A little bit too much. It demands a lot and a really big time investment right now. And I don't mind.
Time is the biggest bummer.
I don't mind changing my idea of, okay, I'm not going to finish Galactic War every day. Because to be honest, while they've been messing around with it this entire time, I've barely bothered to play it because I don't have the time to play it, right? So if it is going to be like this, and if you're not going to finish it every day, then that's fine. I'm cool with that. But if it's not, and they do want you to finish it, and you do need those resources, you got to cut down the time or something like that.
Yeah, you can make it like one of those things where you set your team, and you know, I've always liked this mode in games. Like I used to play the Sokoden series a lot. It's like an old Japanese RPG on Nintendo, and the way that game functioned is you can take your teams into battle, and use them and manually control them, or you can send off teams that you build to battle against other teams based on what is presented, and those characters are just locked for the next 30 minutes. You can't use them for anything else.
Oh, that's cool.
But you can come back and see the outcome of your battle. You know what I mean? So it's like you see a tanky Jedi team, and you go like, well, this is what I think will beat it, and you send them off, and then, you know, like you can't send those characters off to do any of the other missions. You know what I mean? And
that would be interesting if just
it would be interesting,
you had the 12 battles, but you could only autoplay them, and you could watch if you wanted to or something like that.
Yeah, or you just like go away and you 15 minutes later you can come back and see how much life, like did your whole team die, or did your characters come back with a bit more life to be able to be used in another battle or something.
Or did they have a Ben lead and then everybody lost and died?
definitely.
because the problem is just sitting there watching your team auto through Galactic War is just the worst.
Yeah, man, it takes so long. Okay,
Takes
all right,
so long.
let's get beyond that. We know it takes a long time. I really hope they make it so it doesn't take as much time. I really like their ideas, but I
said, the devs are listening to us, so
yeah, that's true.
Probably
Yeah.
change pretty quick.
Listen up.
Confirmed.
Go back over those last 10 minutes. Figure that out again, okay? All right, so let's go to our more than a feeling. So, Danny, talk to us about more than a feeling.
Actually, I think we just kind of said it all in the last section.
Yeah.
But our more than a feeling this time is, Joe was saying, and I fully agree, that these events seem to have done a good job of solving the credit crunch. So all the events we've seen recently are doling out rewards that are 1 million plus or around 1 million. You know, not every time, but especially with the Scoundrel event and stuff coming up, that's 1 million every time. So yeah, this is just a way of solving everyone's, poorness.
Yeah.
Giving everyone a bit more money to deal with, and especially level 80 level 80 players. When you're these assault campaigns and you're playing these, and it's just giving you a bit more reward, and you can, max more dudes. Yeah.
So go ahead, Joe.
No, go for it.
I think, too, it approaches the problem of, if they do want the rosters so wide, then, you gotta give some more credits out at least.
You need like 1 million a day to deal with anything when your roster, really.
Yeah, they were definitely having an issue where they just weren't ejecting enough into the economy. They weren't stimulating the economy enough with just fresh credits, because this is a false economy, right? They pull the credits out their butt and then you stuff them right back in there, and so they just needed to just find ways to drip these out in different ways. And I don't think it's these military might events that are really going to do it, because as we discussed, they're too hard for a huge portion of the game to do it. But it was these smaller ones, like the ladies only event that we did for charity, and it dripped out like a good 500,000 to 1 million credits. And then there's the Kip Fisto one, which they pulled early. That's a funny situation. I thought those events were great. And the Ayla event, the pre
Why did they do that? Was it because it was such a negative reaction by the community?
They said it wasn't doing what they wanted it to do, but I think what it was doing was giving people cool stuff they wanted. Maybe that's what they didn't want to do. I don't know. But, whatever.
It's like two kids playing in a sandbox, and the one kid's like, "Man, I really love your toy. No more for you.
No
Not
more
for you."
Yeah, this is my toy now. I think it was more that they maybe were dripping out chromium-only characters, maybe at a rate they weren't prepared to. But, because they weren't worried about giving you a random selection of credits that could have been 10,000 and could have been 500,000. But I certainly liked those events. I wasn't so worried about, I was never going to 7-star my Ayla from those events. You know what I mean? I was doing
I thought I was going to when I first did it.
But I was more just impressed with the purple mats and a little bit of cash, and all these little events that come through. First time you beat them, you get a big water cache, and then you get the achievement, hopefully, that goes with them, gives you a bit more cash, and then you get in 50k a go, six times a day. I'm not complaining about this Ewok event getting 300,000 credits a day from this thing.
Yeah, and it goes hand in hand with what we're talking about. If they want to make Galactic War almost unfinishable some days, then at least they're giving out credits in a different way, right? They're not forcing you. Because definitely at one point I debated buying credits with crystals, which is insane. But
well, I've done that.
It was a choice at one point. Okay, so let's go on to Wish Upon a Star. Now, this time for Wish Upon a Star, there has been an image that has come out. Now, Danny, you found this image, right? How did you find it?
It's on the, I can tell you right now.
Okay, I'm going to put up the image, but it will cover my cam, so
okay.
I will see
it's on SWGOH.gg on the news, page 1. Okay? So it's just telling you what's happened this week, and this is from July 1st, so it's not that long ago. And then at the end of the whole news section it says, "Oh, and I'll just leave this here." This is very much a Star Wars Galaxy Heroes related post. So this is something in-game that we don't know what it is, but something is coming related to this image.
Okay.
So,
All right,
Yeah.
so I just put the image up there for a little while, so if you didn't see it,
Okay.
you can put back the video, and I'll put it up in a little bit again. So we wanted to have a bit of fun with Wish Upon a Star this week. We haven't theorized new game content for a little while, so we've all had a look at this image, and we're deciding what we want it to be or what it could be in upcoming game content. So, Danny, I'll throw this one at you first. I'm going to put the image back up while you talk. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I mean, from what it looks like to me in other games I've played, it looks like some sort of mini game. Something where you have to unlock different, I don't know, things, these different shapes and stuff. And what I think would be cool, if it was in fact that, I think it would be neat if they hid all the pieces you need to unlock these different sections of all these shapes in different sections of the game. So, like, one is hidden in the third node of Galactic War, and one is hidden in light side battles, number 3 or something. And you have to go out and find it, and that would be kind of cool. You finally unlock it, and you get, like, a huge piece of gear that you need or something, or maybe even a ship. You get a ship or something like that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Or a part of a ship.
Or a part of a ship, yeah. To build your own ship.
I like how we're not even like willing to give ourselves full pieces, like
No.
little part, little bit.
You know what just
Yeah.
happens is you just keep getting the left wing again
Yeah.
and again and again. It's like, I've got 35 left wings. I don't have an engine.
I need a hull. God.
I need a hull.
I think we played this game too long.
Yeah.
You're not going to get a full ship when they come out. No, no, no.
We're just so down on ourselves. We don't deserve a full ship.
It's just like full Stockholm syndrome at this point.
Yeah.
Just like...
All right, Joe, what's your idea, man?
So I think this looks like a lock panel that you're trying to pick. I think this might be one of the other chests on the interface that you see there that is grayed out at the moment.
Ah.
And by doing something, I don't know what, it might be doing some sort of achievements, or by completing certain things, you fill in each one of these green pluses. You know, when you fill them all in, it kind of completes the circuit, unlocks the box, and you get something. So not too dissimilar to what Danny's saying, except maybe how, you know, so instead of being a sort of mini game where you have to go and hunt things down, I think it'll probably be more like, it could be a lot less exciting than that. It could just be like a monthly chest, perhaps, you know, that's like full of super cool stuff where you have to do 100 arena battles, or you know, and then complete Galactic War 15 times, or, you know,
That'd be cool.
and then each one of these corresponds to one of those achievements, and when you get all the achievements, cha-chink, it opens up, and you get a furnace.
So it's the achievement chest.
You get a furnace.
I like that.
And that
Yeah.
is a
Yeah, it's like
full
and
furnace.
then as soon as you unlock it, it swings back shut again, and you start again.
You just get a furnish, and it just says, "Congratulations, Joe, Danny, and Greg." Every time, no matter who you are.
No matter who you are. Yeah.
Ritual
You're
furnace.
only allowed to use that furnace on droids. That's it.
Who else would need one?
Yeah. My idea, when I looked at it, I kind of saw what you guys saw too, where it looks like a chipboard or a motherboard of a computer. But in kind of part with what we're talking about this episode, I was thinking maybe it could be something like a rework of Galactic War, where when I saw too, if you look at like a Dungeons and Dragons map or something like that from a bird's eye view, you know, where you like move into the different rooms and stuff, I saw maybe it could be some walls or something like that, and then you could take a new approach to maybe something like Galactic War, or a mini game where there's a bunch of different teams, like those plus glowing ones were ones that you've already done, and then you have to beat at least 3 out of the 5 teams, and then you can open the box or whatever is inside, like it's like a password or something like that. I was just thinking, you know, they are thinking about trying to rework Galactic War again. Maybe it's like a totally different way to do it or something like that. I don't think they'll actually do it, but I think that'd be cool. You know, where
It's
your
not
team
fully
progresses
unbelievable.
from room to room in
Yeah.
that kind of map.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess
it's not
it sounds
totally
like
unbelievable because, I mean, this is, as you remember, we're holograms playing,
Yeah.
you know, against each other. It's not
What?
real.
This isn't the realm of reality?
This isn't-
No. I'm saying, the whole idea is we're in a cantina playing arcade games.
Yeah.
So it's not unbelievable to think that this motherboard is a section of like rooms and walls and things. Yeah.
And if they are going to go that approach, I expect some serious Star Wars 8-bit music. Dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun, dun,
Yeah, some proper dungeon crawling, some dungeon crawling music.
Yeah.
I think we're all pretty much saying the same thing. This looks like 6 things you got to do to unlock something.
Yeah, which I'm cool with.
Make all the pluses green and you get some goodies. I just hope that what they make us do to get the goodies and what the goodies are not a complete boring letdown.
It would be funny if this was like one of those new data chips that just went in the thing and came out. That's all.
That's all.
It's just like an even crappier bronzium.
Yeah.
it just goes in and it comes out and they're all red and it's just like you didn't get anything. Try again. $5
And
US.
it's just monthly, monthly nothing.
You get one a month, and you have
All
a
right.
75% chance to get nothing.
Okay, well, I think it's about time to wrap it up. We've been going for a while, so if you made it this far, you're a true fan.
Congratulations.
True fan. Congratulations. Yes.
Thanks, man.
I'm headed away on vacation for the next 2 weeks, so there might not be an episode for a little while. However, Joe's been doing his streaming weekly on Friday mornings. What time is that, Joe?
It works out at about 6 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern, or something like that. Which is actually Thursday night U.S. time. It's 9 a.m. GMT plus 8. Friday was midnight UTC. Time zones, man.
There's a lot of letters in
Yeah,
Just
I
like,
tuned out there, Joe.
if you're in the States, like Thursday night sometime when I wake up, I tend to stream. Maybe me and Danny will knock our heads together and see what we can come up with.
Yeah.
While it's away. We haven't really thought about it, but I'll definitely be streaming at that time wherever you are. And I'll maybe double up, do a second stream perhaps if people really want to see it. But yeah, we'll be around. We'll be doing stuff.
All right, thanks, guys. This is Greg, Danny, and Joe from Ritual Gaming, and we'll catch you next time.